Good morning, afternoon, and evening, Phoenix Nights. Look at you, Eric, up here nice and early.
I know it's first time actually. I come in late, at least 2 or 3 minutes.
Hey, it's really refreshing. It's really refreshing.
Yeah.
Um, if you don't mind, Eric, I had some marketing updates for everyone whilst we have Luke joining us. Does that sound good if I take the floor really quickly?
Oh, sure, absolutely. And if you run out of time on that and Luke's still not here, you can do your stand-up bit.
Fun fact, I actually practiced stand-up comedy before the pandemic to raise money for cancer, but sadly the event got cancelled, so we could always do a little circle back round. So don't tempt me.
Okay.
Right then, family. So a marketing update. I thought this would be a good little routine because, as we all know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and it's really important that we don't have blinkers on and fail to let you all know what's going on. So, from the marketing department, we have hired a brand development strategist and a marketing executive. So, what does that mean? Most importantly, as we develop more brands under the PCC umbrella, we need to make sure that ours is cohesive and that as we scale as a company, our identity follows suit as well. So we're bringing in a brand development strategist who will ensure everything about our brand, whether we do dabble with merchandise, whether we do dabble with a drinks brand or whatever area that we go into, brand is strong. The marketing executive will support myself and John, our social media manager, allowing us to do more across a number of platforms, including press releases. So we're aiming to get out about 10 press releases a month on tier one publications. So we're talking Yahoo Finance, we're talking Bloomberg, we're talking CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, etc. We have a lot of news coming. Some news that Eric and Luke don't share with me, which upsets me sometimes. I understand why. And we understand that although it's a vanity metric, press releases, the public perception outside of our community in here is equally as important. So that's coming in the pipeline. We've been working with videographers and photographers at our in-person events. Over here in the UK,
Well, now I have to do stand-up. So why do elevator jokes work so well? Because they operate on so many different levels.
hey there, I'm back. UK Wi-Fi wanted to kick me off for some reason.
That's okay. You missed it. I gave a dad joke while you were out, so
You were just waiting for that opportunity, weren't you?
a little bit, yeah. I had one keyed up in my mind just in case.
Nice. We'll get another one just in case as well. So I'll pick up where I left off, which was videographers, photographers who've been documenting our journey as we shake hands. We spread the good word of PCC around the UK and around the world. We may even announce an event towards the back end of this month. I'll leave that to Eric and Luke to announce that. We're developing a strategy team. So we do have a chief strategy officer. His name's Tyrese. Don't worry about memorizing all these names and positions. Very shortly, we're going to announce an organizational chart where you can see the true layout of PCC and everyone's role within the company. So within the strategy team, marketing come under that, business development, and product. So it's a real cohesive network that we're building because with big dreams come a big team to follow. And then finally, Eric, this is the first time you're hearing this. I want to get a games night going. How do you feel about that?
What kind of games? I mean, it sounds amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So that's part of the plan I haven't figured out yet. Literally, as I was like, what can I talk about today? And I was like, you know what? It'd be fun if we did a games night. So I'm open to that idea. I'm going to throw that to the community. Expert delegation right there. So let us know in the general chat. What type of game nights would you like? Are there some games online that 100 plus people can get involved in? We could do some quizzes. We could have some prizes. We're not going to give away. Oh, go on, Nick.
I was going to say we could eventually play Ghost of Tabor.
We could. But everyone will need an Oculus, correct?
initially. That's all I can
Initially.
say. Shh. Shh.
I mean, there's only 700 plus people listening. So I'm leaving that little seed there for everyone. If you've got a games night idea, let me know in the general chat. Please tag me. Keep in mind, it's got to be a game that 100 plus people can pay. So that's going to be interesting. I love Xbox. I'm now picking up Fortnite tonight as they've got the Doctor Strange version. So I'm a little geek at heart. Do you play any games?
Oh, I used to. I don't have time anymore now. This is actually a full-time job. So a lot of people don't see what we do on the back end. And that's for obvious reasons. We don't go around celebrating our every move every day. But this is beyond a full-time job. As Showtime once told me, entrepreneurs are the only people who will leave a full-time job so they can go work for themselves and work 80 to 120 hours a week.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. It's a 9 to when it's done.
No, it doesn't start at 9. It's really because we're global, actually, because there's so many different parts of the world we're talking to people in. It's really kind of a 24-hour, 7 days a week, 365. It's a lot. It's a lot. I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot. Sometimes it's worth it, but it's a lot.
Of course it is. And whilst we've got you up here, Eric, I'm sure everyone would like a little peephole into the life of Mr. Eric Marshall. So if you could, what time do you wake up and what does day to day look like for you?
Time that I wake up is not the same every morning. I don't have a set routine. Like I said earlier, things change around the globe. So we accommodate other time zones and other continents sometimes. So it just fluctuates based on requirements. I like to get at least 6 hours of sleep a day, but it doesn't always work out that way. So Red Bull.
And no morning routine like Tim Ferriss?
No, my morning routine is I say hey to my wife and kids, and then I get to work.
That's not a bad ritual.
I should be going around picking up heavy things and then putting them back down. I'm going to do that in the future, but when things are a little bit more structured and streamlined, maybe.
I always say that to my partner when she asks me, how was the gym? I say I lifted a few heavy things and I put them back down.
Yep.
Talking about heavy things and putting them back down. No, there's no segue there. Hey, Luke, good to see you, buddy.
Jordan, how are you, man? It's good to see you. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was tied up on a meeting, a very important one, but I managed to get out. Talking about lifting heavy things, I know we all love philosophy in here. I recently read a quote by a Buddhist monk, and it really resonated with me. He was sitting staring at a mountain, and he said, "Mountains are really heavy, but not for me, because I don't have to lift one." And it really got me thinking about the battles that we choose to take in life. And yeah, man, yeah, it was interesting. How are you guys? How is it?
Beautiful. Doing tremendous. Thank you, Luke. Doing tremendous. And that's the thing is with great responsibility. To segue off what you said, Luke, people want to be in front of the light, but with the light comes a lot of heat. And not everyone can withstand that heat from the light. So if you wish to lift the mountain, yeah, get prepared.
There's a saying in England, isn't there? If you don't like the heat, get out of the kitchen.
A universal one for sure. Eric, is an American philosophy or saying?
Yes. No, we say the same thing here in the exact same way. It's the first time I've ever heard Luke say something like that, and it translates 100% to what we call the finished English language over here in America.
You don't have finishing school in America, though, do you?
Yeah, we finished it before we got here.
Brilliant, guys. Well, the moment everyone's been waiting for, and it's been slightly delayed as well. So we do apologize, everyone. Thank you for your understanding, but we couldn't risk any technical difficulties getting in the way of the value and, more importantly, some of the most urgent questions you want answered. That's what we do every Monday, normally, here on our Discord, where you get to pick the brains of some of the greatest founders in the space, Luke and Eric. So we always start with announcements first. We get all the updates and exciting parts out of the way. Stay towards the end, because if you've heard rumors of what these AMAs are like, Luke will often leave a little gem at the end for all of us to run about with. So Fellas, the first update. Luke, would you like to update us where you are in the world right now?
Yeah, I'm still on vacation. I'm not doing a very good job at it.
It's
Um,
pronounced holiday.
Well, I'm saying vacation because I know there's a lot of Americans in the room and they don't understand what holidays are. They think it's where you go out and like do
Oh, buy
stuff in the
presents
street.
and yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So I'm on vacation holiday for English people. I'm in the sunny lands of Greece. It's absolutely beautiful. Um, but yeah, no, I will get some days off eventually. But I'll be back in the UK on Saturday. And back to work. Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah.
We
He's
look forward.
kidding. He's kidding. He's been at work the whole time.
I have been at work the whole time.
Oh, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. And Eric, you're back from San Diego, was it?
Yes, I was in San Diego attending a conference for about a week, and I just got back on Saturday. I'm back in Houston now. So, a little bit of an update on San Diego. The reason I went out there was to meet with a group of global investors. And if you guys are familiar with it, you may or may not be, but you can look them up if you don't. If you're not familiar, it's a group called Real Vision, run by a guy named Raul Paul. And these people are really, 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 really brilliant and smart people. And they look the whole point of the event was to look at the status of the world, geopolitics, and conditions, and how those drive market conditions and what to expect in the next 6 to 12 months. So that was a very, very, very useful meeting, getting to see some of those people, meet some of those people. There's a lot of influence in the room too. So I met some people for the first time. Luke has met some of them as well, but we're getting introductions and relationships formed with very influential people that have access to levels that we want to get access to. So there's a bit of a strategy there. So it wasn't all fun, but it was San Diego, so we had a little bit of fun.
Remarkable.
We've constantly said about being surrounded by the greatest minds, and that doesn't just translate to the crypto sphere. Within crypto, we have to look at other factors, geopolitical factors, economic factors, etc. And the best way to do that is to get around the people who are making moves in these spaces. So, we're privy to some really interesting information that allows us to plan accordingly, and put us in the strongest position that we can be.
And Eric, if you don't mind me asking, what was one thing you thought was true, being surrounded by these people that you now know is a lie?
I'm not usually caught off guard. So I had them pegged pretty much 100%. The one thing that most people wouldn't understand, or most people would look at these individuals and make no mistake, most of the people in this room are multimillionaires. I don't think any of them were in the billionaire status, but I wouldn't put it past them. But they're really, really genuinely nice, caring people, and they're not the evil boogeymen that rich people are made out to be. So they're not heartless. There's a touch of empathy. One of the women that was on stage was talking about the commodities market, and the price of wheat has gone up through the roof. So as an investor, she's excited, but at the same time, because of the reason why it's gone up, she's actually saddened, because the reason wheat has gone up is because of the war between Russia and Ukraine, and supply chain shortages, and there's all kinds of different factors that go into the reason why the price of wheat is up. So at the one hand, she's happy because she's making money. On the other hand, she's actually dismayed because of the conditions in which it has occurred. So that would probably shock most people. I wasn't shocked though, but that would probably surprise most people that they're not heartless, cold, calculated, you know, only care about money and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
Actually,
think from
almost all of them work on some type of charity or another for their own peace of mind and to give back and help. So very like-minded to myself and Luke. We love charity as well.
I, for one, look forward to you developing relationships with people within that network at Real Vision, and hopefully one day bringing that circle of influence over here. As we move over to our second announcement, Spectrum, the NFT marketplace. Hopefully, if you've been around with us long enough, you would start to now recognize these names, and we know you want more information. So, Luke, I'm going to come to you for this one, just because, of course, us Brits, we have a certain event going on. Do you care to share more?
Yeah, let's talk about this. This is exciting. Spectrum takes up a lot of my time, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And we've been really busy beavering away to bring some really exciting projects to market. Now we're close to signing agreements with people, and we plan to announce these in the next few weeks. Um, on the 27th of April, in London, we are going to be hosting an event at a private members club to announce Spectrum. It's going to be a really, really high key affair. We're going to be inviting some key people along, and as always, our Phoenix Knights very important to us, and we'd like to invite some along. Now it is limited capacity, so um, who can I dump this one? Reliable guy. Reliable guy is the guy. If you want to come along, send some information to Reliable Guy. I mean, he will relay a list of all the people. Now, not all of you will be able to attend, unfortunately, but we'll do it on a first come, first serve. So if you can get to the UK for the 27th of April, myself, Eric, and a few more of the team, Jordan, will be there as well. So it's a great opportunity to come along and meet us in person, to learn more about Spectrum itself and what we're doing, and to maybe get a bit of an inside scoop as well.
Man, putting that on a reliable guy like that—that's like pulling the pin out of a hand grenade and saying, "Here, hold this."
Yeah, I know. Who's got feedback there? Yeah.
That's it. He's got broad shoulders. He can carry it. So everyone go spam him for more information until we put
Yeah.
out some official documents. And to piggyback off what Luke said, it goes without saying, beyond the official launch, we encourage everyone to connect. So leading up to it, we're going to create a group chat of those who wish to come, very similar to what we did in Dubai. We'll discuss offline if we create a private meetup before or after the event. Rest assured, though, every single person who comes to that launch party will have an opportunity to thank Luke. I was going to say myself, but I just make these guys look good, and find out more about what's going
Brilliant,
on.
Jordan.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. That means a lot. And we also know that the CEO of Spectrum is going to fly in as well. Has he doxed himself, Luke? I don't want to give his name out just in case he hasn't doxed yet.
He hasn't yet. However, you know that we like doxed CEOs.
Yes.
So there will come a time when he will present himself to you. But for now, yeah, no, he's too busy working away. And I tell you, they're working hard on this. But yeah, he's too busy working away in order
Yeah,
to
we can't put him in
discuss.
the spotlight just yet,
No
because then it would
problem.
detract from the work he's doing.
Precisely. I thought as much. Talking about the hard work that's going on, Swapsicle. Now, I've allowed people to come up on stage, but not any person. We're looking for Alan. So, calling Alan, if you're in the room, we would love for
Or
you to
Dale.
or Dale.
Or Dale.
Or
Alan or
both.
Dale. Or both. There's Dale. Oh, here come the Swapsicle boys. They're all coming.
They're charging in. All right,
Oh,
boys.
yeah.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Here we come, yeah!
Good evening.
Thank you, Dale,
Yeah.
for holding up the decorum of the room. So, Dale and Alan, it's lovely to have you guys joining us. The floor is yours to update the community on what's new and exciting over at Swapsicle.
Right. So, you know what I'm going to do? Because just so everyone that may or may not know, that we hosted or tried to host an AMA yesterday on our own Discord server, and we had some really bad issues with communication. And Lee, bless his heart, held the fort really well, while myself, Jacob, and a few others actually kept dropping. And Dell unfortunately didn't get his time to shine, and he is pretty much the mind behind a lot of the actual utility from the Swapsicle platform. So I want to actually give Dale the platform, if I may, to allow him to go through a lot of what the utility is on Swapsicle and how the POPs token is so integral for the kind of the blood, we call it, that pumps through, or the oil that lubricates the engine. So Dale, I'm going to hand this over to you to kind of let everyone know exactly the utility behind Swapsicle's POP token and how they can kind of use it within our platform, if that's okay with you, buddy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you. Just to double check, am I coming through okay?
Loud and clear.
Fantastic.
Loud and clear.
Brilliant. Thank you. And yeah, good evening to everyone. I hope you're all doing well during these tough market conditions. Yeah, so I was really annoyed that I didn't get to share my piece yesterday. I was frantically between devices, laptops, desktops to try and get the message out to you all. But yeah, a lot of hard work has gone into the longevity and the sustainability of our native token, right? The POPs token. And we love first principle thinking at Swapsicle. And our first principle for the POPs token has always been to create a native token that accrues value over time, that really bucks the trend of the hyperinflationary farm token that trends to zero, right? And it's been our absolute mission to achieve that, because if you have a token that is continually accruing value through partnerships, through liquidity depth, through capital efficiency, through all the different things that decentralized finance gives us access to, that is going to mean that there's going to be TVL coming onto our platform en masse, so to speak. So yeah, where do I start with the utility? So the partnerships that we're really keen to make are ones that continue to build our credibility and give us access to new liquidity. And you've seen the Bigger Minds announcement. Was really excited about that. We've also been inundated with other potential partnerships, and the POPs token, for all of you wonderful people that actually invested your money in buying our pre-POPs token and made all this possible. It is our mission to use these partnerships, these deep liquidity pools, to bring value to all of you. It's going to be farmable. It's going to be, you're going to be able to use it in what we call our ice cream van, which will give you further incentives for basically not selling your POPs token. We will also very quickly be moving to vote escrowed governance model, which again will have mathematical weighting, meaning the people that believe in Swapsicle are going to be rewarded far greater than people that are essentially mercenary yield farmers. We want people like all of yourselves, the loyal people that have conviction in their project. So I don't know, is there anything specific? I can go off and talk about different areas of DeFi for hours and put you all to sleep. Is there anything specific that you'd like me to cover, Al, or anyone from the community?
I think for me, mate, I think we'd be really good to address two things. One is to kind of emphasize the Bigger Minds relationship, because again, this is all about community-driven projects where Bigger Minds have come in and we've had discussions with them, and it's about, I guess, the power that we can actually have in bringing communities together, sort of like, merging a Bigger Minds community that the Phoenix community haven't heard of, very similar, but showing how Swapsicle, the kind of, not revealing the the secrets of the deal, but the intricacies of how we can actually make the Bigger Minds partnership work. And this is where we would encourage anybody else that sits there and thinks, do you know what, I know of another community that could list on Swapsicle. How do I engage with the Swapsicle team to introduce them to the key decision makers at this particular project that can come in and list and engage with us to sort of see how we can kind of tie up a relationship that is mutual benefit for us? Because we've got to remember here, every project that we list on Swapsicle feeds back into the PCC treasury, right? And that's kind of our motivation and our goal. So it'd be really, really good to talk about the kind of the development of the Bigger Minds relationship, because it's the first one and it's a kind of niche one. It's brand new. People might not have heard about that. And then I think also as well, just to talk about, some people might be thinking here that they're used to buying nests and they're used to sort of like doing nothing and sitting there thinking, I just need to sell my tokens and I've got some money. What we want to try and encourage people is to participate in making the community bigger. We want individuals who have bought POPs tokens, or pre-POPs tokens as they're called at the minute. Once they get their POPs tokens, you could sell your tokens on day 1, day 2, day 3 and make a profit, but then you don't have an asset anymore, right? And then what? You all are here for passive income generation. I guess, Dale, one of the things that we could do is actually describe some of the passive income utility that we can demonstrate that the Swapsicle platform is going to provide, so that people can use the POPs tokens and put it to work in the same way that they have been introduced to the Phoenix's project, where they bought nests and they've seen revenue as a passive income. How they could actually use the Swapsicle platform to stake, to farm, to actually provide liquidity pools, because it may be a little bit alien and a little bit complex. And one of our goals is obviously to educate people, to get them involved, to actually use the POPs tokens to actually earn more passive income, because this is what we're all about. So I guess maybe we could talk about that in a little bit of detail. So I've talked a little bit more. I was probably going to speak about, but and maybe overwhelmed you a little bit there. But if you can kind of digest everything I've just said and come out with an answer, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the POPs token for us at Swapsicle is going to be the oxygen of the ecosystem, right? The POPs token is not going to be a token for the sake of being a token, right? The usual model is it's a reward token that the only vector involved is a sell vector, and that is to cash out for another token, whether that be a stable coin or whatever they choose to do. We are working really hard, like Alan said, to make there's so many use cases for our POPs token. So let's say you will provide liquidity for your fire and for AVAX. Obviously, you will get your standard liquidity pool fees for the trading volume. PCC will get their 15% of that volume straight back into your treasury. Fantastic. But what else? What else can we do for you? Well, what we do is you can take your LP token for providing liquidity, come over to one of our farms and say, here, look, I'm providing liquidity for Phoenix, for the Phoenix AVAX pool. Is there any more rewards in that for us? Absolutely there is. What we do is we reward that by allowing you to stake that LP token for POPs, for further POPs rewards. So for providing liquidity to your own community, you'll be rewarded in another token, be it our Oxygen token, our POPs token. So now you're getting your POPs rewards. Okay, is there any more I can do with this token? Yes, there is. There's many things. What we can allow you to do is you can take your POPs rewards and you can go and stake them in our ice cream van. So our ice cream van is essentially you giving us your POPs tokens. You will get an S-POPs variant. And what that will do is that will be earning further fees. So the remainder of what's left after the liquidity pool fees and the Phoenix community capital fees, there's what is usually 0.05% of the fees. Ours is slightly less because Phoenix Community Capital will be getting their portion, but our rewards we see as being worth more. So I would rather have slightly less rewards at a much greater value. So essentially what you'll do is you'll earn further fees on your pops. And then that's not all. The pops will be involved in our white paper. You've seen the crowdfunding and launchpad service we're offering. Now, I can't obviously go into too much detail around that. But what I can say is, like I've already mentioned before, the POPs token is the oxygen of our ecosystem. You will need an allocation of POPs tokens to get involved in any of the pre-launch, to get involved in any of the to get exposure to any of these new exciting partnerships. You will need POPs tokens. So we see there being numerous buy vectors into the POPs ecosystem, which in turn gives all of you pre-POPs holders more value and ultimately more trading volume for Phoenix Community Capital. We're in a really, really privileged position to be launching a decentralized exchange sort of 2 years down the line. We've been able to see the iterations of SushiSwap and Uniswap. We've been able to see the success of what Curve and Convex and other yield optimizers have done. We've been able to sit on the sidelines and observe all that stuff. We've been able to see what works and what doesn't, what in theory has been successful and should have been successful and wasn't. So, and we're going to be offering all that back to the Phoenix community and obviously the people that believe in us at Swapsicle. It's all about people, and I honestly believe we've got the most incredible team, and the relationships that are coming from that. It's just moved so much quicker than I even thought possible. I've personally been having technical meetings with some people that 18 months ago I was avidly following because they're the best minds in DeFi, and they're now like sitting up and recognizing Phoenix Community Capital, what Swapsicle are offering. So yeah, super excited.
Thanks, Dale. I think it's really, really important to just recognize what you guys have done, because number one, Swapsicle, it's our first incubated project, and it returns funds to our investors, and that's amazing. But the way you've approached this tokenomic, and you've done what we've done, you looked at holes in the market, you've looked at what does and doesn't work, and you've isolated that and drilled that down to create something really special. And we're really excited to see it launch. It's also great to see and hear about how humbling it is to sit around a table with your heroes and be an equal voice, because we all started as crypto enthusiasts, but now we're heading crypto projects. So credit to you, Dale. It's the first time we've spoken, man. But what you guys have created over there is absolutely phenomenal, and I take my hat off to you. And I'm honoured, absolutely honoured, that we managed to support your launch. So thank you.
Thank you, Luke. That's a really kind thing to say, and I think it's probably evident for the whole community to see that incubation investment from the Phoenix community is not just financially going to be paid back in spades, but in knowledge asymmetry, in insight, in many different ways. It's obviously I'm biased, but I think it was a fantastic investment from the community.
It really was. It really was. Carry on, Al.
I was just going to say that, look, things will take their time, and things need to kind of, this is like an infant, right? We need to mold this infant and let it grow and nurture and become the strong human being that it can be. So we need the community to understand this, right? This is a new undertaking that Lee and I, we never thought this time last year there'd be people listening in who know Lee and I, and that there's people who've been with us for 5 years in previous kind of iterations that we've been in with previous projects that we've been part of, thinking, would we have said here this time last year, would we be building a decentralized exchange? God, no. But here we are, putting ourselves out of our comfort zone and actually giving it a go, understanding what's needed in order to kind of push us along, in order to further an ecosystem to actually provide passive income and sustainability for an ecosystem that's being nurtured. I mean, the Phoenix Community Capital is completely brand new, and it's epic. You know, people are kind of seeing the potential. You know, we're setting new milestones here. We're being doxed. We're coming out almost in forefront saying, look, Lee and Alan are at the forefront of all of this, and all of a sudden here's our team. We're surrounding ourselves with individuals who have the certain skill sets to actually execute and deliver on our kind of ideology, and being able to sort of like bring in people like Dale who actually have the kind of the mindset to digest and kind of put together a white paper tokenomics schedule that actually would work and actually have a utility based excuse me, but I'm mixing my words up a little bit. But in terms of Dale comes out with things that says this is what we can do, because I've looked at what's out there, the best bits of all the other dexes that are out with Sushi Swap, Uniswap, Pancake Swap, and ProCurve, taking the best bits and turn around and saying, do you know what, we could take those and actually create our own unique kind of product within Swapsicle that then further advances the Phoenix Community Capital's ecosystem, because at the end of the day, we're trying to list as many projects as we can so that we can earn revenue into your treasury. But at the same time, we also want to generate revenue for ourselves and for you. So we get paid based upon how well our POPs tokens performs, but then so do you. So if you take part in farming, if you take part in staking, if you take part in the liquidity pools and actually learn what it means to create liquidity pools and understand what it means to stake, and just hold your POPs token for that little bit longer. And I think what I believe will happen is that we end up showing you and demonstrating to you that actually you can trust us to show you that utility will work out in the end for you, that you made the right decision to invest with us, because then you will start to see the returns the same way as you investing in the Phoenix Community Capital and seeing returns on your nest. That really is proof in the pudding. And that's something that, you've got individuals in this team like myself and Lee, you've got Tom, who our CEO, who, is putting things together behind the scenes, and everyone else that's within the team, that allow these guys the chance to demonstrate what they're capable of doing. When we launch officially soon, whether that be in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or end of April, whatever, don't sit there and think I'm going to make a killing on day one because I managed to buy cheap. If you've got that particular mindset, then you're not part really of this community, I think, if I'm brutally honest, and I'll speak out of turn if I have to. But I think if you need to understand that things take time to build and grow the same way the Phoenix took time to build and grow, and they've got more exciting things coming on. So with Swapsicle, it's about just persevering and actually being involved in the ecosystem. Read the white paper. If you don't understand it, reach out to the Swapsicle team to understand what it means to create liquidity pools, what it means to stake, so that you can understand what you're doing with your investment. If you still are uncomfortable, then sure, by all means, you can exit if you want to, but allow the team the opportunity to show you how you can generate more passive income, because this is what we're here for. All right.
Excellent. Thank you so much, fellas. A powerful message, a reminder to all of us for every project that we're in. Fellas, are you open to people contacting you in the general rooms? Are you going to be hanging about in the channels today?
Sure, yeah. Direct all your questions to Dal, yeah, please. Thank you.
Absolutely. That is my absolute favourite part, is going in the channels and getting in the weeds with the community. I genuinely live for that stuff.
So once again, this is like grabbing the hand grenade, pulling the pin out and saying, here, Dale, hold this.
And of course, you have your own Discord server. But if you're not part of it already, you can find these fellas roaming around our Discord server for the next half an hour. So thank you, Dale and Alan. If you mind returning back to the audience, and it's time to put the boys in the hot seat and ask them some of the most pressing questions. Ciao for now, guys.
Thanks for coming up, guys. It's great hearing about your project. Guys, enjoyed the white paper when you really did. So It's an interesting project. Lovely. Thanks.
It really is. It really is. Now, Luke and Eric, there's been a lot of questions since last week, and we don't shy away from any of the difficult ones, and difficult we have today. So, in usual fashion, I'll go one for one. Eric, as you're next to me, I'll come to you first, buddy. The $1,000,000 question. I'm going to come to you with this. What happens the day after we reach the 100,000 nest cap?
That's a great question. And I think we're going to defer this one until later. Luke, do you think that's appropriate, or do you want to go ahead and answer it now?
Okay. Let me think. What happens when we reach the 100,000 nest cap?
Yeah.
Um,
We could answer it. I just don't want to know. I don't want to know if what I want to know is, do you want to answer it now, or did you want to bring that up later on? Maybe move this one to the bottom of the list of questions.
let's move this one to the bottom of the list.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's revisit that one, please.
I'm not going to forget. We're going to come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Coming back to you, Eric.
Oh, man, I thought I was going to get one.
You can't do Luke Day like that. So, Eric, revenue. Realistically, what would we be looking at in terms of projected revenue? You don't have to tell us what is coming from, but getting an idea of the projected income streams would be helpful. So I feel that second part we can answer. So number one, Eric, what does the projected revenue look like?
So this is really more of a moving target, and people have to understand that we have some concept or idea. There's a lot of things that are still in flux, and we don't have all of the deals in writing yet. So to give you a number at this point would be sort of inappropriate, because if something doesn't work out for whatever reason, and I'm counting that money revenue potential in the number that I give you, someone's going to come back later and say, "Oh, well, I bought Nest because you said you were going to earn this much money, and now you're a fraud."
Yeah.
So people are now asking target range. Okay. What do you think, Luke? I mean, we realize that we do the math just like you guys do, right? So we know what it takes.
We are not aiming to be millionaire makers. Okay. That's not the goal. We're not moonshot boys. That's not the goal. Goal of this is passive income generation for a sustained period of time. Eric and I are more concerned about the longevity of the project than the value of the reward. Okay. Everyone's sitting here, they want $1,000 a token. And that's great if you want short-term gains. But we're here. I plan for this to be here for a very, very long time. So we're going more towards sustainability. I'll tell you what we can tell them, Eric. I've never spoken price. Ever.
I haven't
Eric
either.
has never spoken price. We don't talk price because the market dictates the price. However, as we move into the next thing, we aim to have at least 6 months worth of rewards at any one time. That's our goal.
I generally believe, speaking, from my perspective, that gives hopefully a lot of people listening a little bit of reassurance, knowing, because if you go into the Success with Fire chat, a lot of people have retired. A lot of people have retired their loved ones. And the last thing we want to do, any of us, myself included, is to say, "Hey, mom, you need to go back to work." Or, "Hey, you need to pick yourself up and go back to work." Now, we're not saying, of course, quit your job. We, of course, would love to give everyone the opportunity to do that. But more importantly is we want to ensure that we keep echoing it, the sustainability. So when we talk about having 6 months of rewards in the pipeline, that's the vision that we're building. That's the reassurance we want to give you. And the thing is, we can stand up here and we can say X amount, but there's no certainties in this game. Under promise, over deliver. We could even just throw out a low number in our estimation, but we don't want to play with any of your emotions like that, because as I've said time and time again, every investment means something to you. So in terms of where the revenue is going to come from, I know we can answer that. So Luke, I'll throw it over to you. Just for anyone who isn't familiar with what we do here, where will the revenue come from when we close the doors.
Brilliant. So we have agreements with our incubated projects that they return a certain amount of their profit into PCC. Swapsicle, 15% of gross profits return to PCC. Spectrum, 80% of the profits will return to PCC. Combat Waffle, Eric, I need you to remind me of that one.
60%.
60% of the profits will return to PCC.
Yeah, it's either,
And then we have
it's either 60 or 50. It's somewhere in that. I'll have to get the exact number, but it's somewhere in the 60-50 range, somewhere in there.
60-50 range. Lovely. On top of that, we have Niffy coming. Now, I intend Niffy to be a multi-billion-dollar company when that launches because it has the capability to do so. 5% of the profits of that will be returning to PCC. The reason that's 5% is because it's going to take a long time to develop. This is a long-term game plan, and there will be other things that we will need to support with Niffy as well. So even though it's a small slice of the pie, it's going to be a very, very big pie.
Scott from Combat Waffle just texted me, and it's 60% return on the Combat Studio.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, Combat
Superstar.
Waffle.
Lovely. So, I mean, that's just from what we're announced. We have other things that are building.
That's for sure. And I know I can speak on this, and of course you guys can confirm this. Some of the things we're working on aren't going to pay us out monthly. Some will be a flip on our investment. Am I correct in saying that, Luke and Eric?
Sorry, I'm typing to Elon Musk. That is a sentence I never thought I'd say.
Don't do that.
Don't mind be ignoring me for him. So my question was, not all of the revenue streams down the line will be reoccurring. Some will be a nice little flip. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, some will be a return on investment immediately. Some will be a more sustained approach.
Precisely. So short term, mid term, and long term. In terms of if you have an idea that you are looking for investment for, we are going to have a standard operating procedure. As you can imagine, we inundated with a request right now for people to get us to look at their pitch decks. So if you have an idea, please hold on to it. If you can't, create a ticket in Reach Phoenix. You'll see it on the left-hand side. I take a look at that daily. I'm saving a nice little backlog of ideas to present to Madding and his team. So do keep in mind, community, you're not left out of this. Someone in this room right now could become an incubator project, could receive investment from us as well. All we ask for is a presentation and patience. Now, moving on to the next question. Again, around what happens when we hit the cap. So for argument's sake, let's say the FIRE token plummeted to $50 and this individual would be making 4K a year off one nest. Granted, the price stays the same. In order to pay out the same amount based on 100,000 nests, PCC needs to deliver 400 million net profit. I haven't ran the numbers, but I believe we've ran the numbers ourselves. Is this true? And how confident are we on hitting these numbers? Eric, I'm coming to you for that.
What was the numbers at 400?
Yes, 400 million net.
400,
So
400 million a year.
400 million a year net profit. You could look at some of the stuff that we've already announced and what we're aiming to do. So you guys don't have the full picture, and I can't talk about it yet because we're under NDAs and we can't shout and celebrate some of the stuff we're working on behind the scenes yet because we're waiting on those documents to be finalized. Let's take Spectrum, for instance. Spectrum NFT marketplace. What is the income earning potential of an NFT marketplace? Well, there's one out there that's really successful. I suggest looking there and then working backwards mathematically to see if that's an attainable goal or not. And I'm not saying we would be as big as the other one necessarily, at least not initially, but we would have a considerable chance at challenging that market share.
We are kind of a bit different from that one, though. So
I know. That's what I'm saying. There's
features that we offer are different, and there's an opportunity for some larger profit margins out of it, utilizing the things that we're doing. So it's it's really difficult to say nothing without saying everything, because we know that every time we tell something in our roadmap, it automatically gets cloned by other protocols, and then apparently we're not innovative enough in the space, and it's really frustrating because we'd love to just tell you all of it, but it is what it is. The formula that we've created for Spectrum, you can go and compare it to the big boy in the space, but it's going to be different because we're approaching it from a completely different angle to everyone else. And I think that is needed in the space, and it will also encourage crypto adoption.
Appreciate that insight, Luke. Really do. A difficult one again to answer because we could be misquoted here talking about projected revenue, which of course retroactively we said we wouldn't be talking about. However, I hope that's given everyone a little bit of context to the confidence that we have in the project. We do know the numbers, and we're not shying away from believing in the work that we are doing. And of course, time settles all arguments. But we're out here on display. We can't hide. We really can't. Okay, we've got a guest question that popped up in the chat. And Luke, I thought it would be absolutely fantastic to put you on the spot and ask you it so everyone can hear. How many nests are set aside? Oh.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, good. I mean, you answered it in the chat. So I was like, of course I can ask you.
Yeah.
So Luke, how many nests are set aside for Griffin?
1,000.
1,000 nests. There you go, everyone.
1,
I know that was a very popular question. 1,000 nests have been set aside for Griffin.
Yeah.
Coming back to our earlier questions, we've got two more before we come to the $1 million question. Could the nest cap be removed in the future to open the door for new investors? Eric,
No.
I'm going to come to... Oh, Luke, I wasn't even speaking to you.
Sorry, I just wanted to say no.
I'm going to push back because you jumped in so quick then, Luke. Why is it a no?
Let's save that for the end.
Okay, cool. That's fine. Right then, I'm putting that one after the $1 million question. The final question before we revisit the most challenging ones. Eric, I'm coming to you. So Luke, please let Eric answer, unless he wants to call a friend. Are we still going to be receiving our 0.225 FIRE reward model in the coming months, Eric?
Yes.
Nice short answer. That was great. All right then. So, in reverse order, the $1 million question. Luke, coming to you. What happens at the cap?
Okay. When we get to the cap, we're going to stop people building new nests.
Yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it in a nutshell, right? You get to the end, and then it's like, well, okay, we built all the road, we built all the runway we need.
However, on top of that, okay, what we're going to do is switch over to a revenue model. Okay, so we're going to be relying from the return on investments from Spectrum, Swapsicle, and our further incubated projects. Now, as these profits come in, we're looking at the way that we're going to return them. So we're toying around with a couple of ideas. However, the one that we seem to be floating more towards, Eric, allow me if I can say this, is going to be utilizing the bonding tool that we spoke to you all about. If you might remember at the start, we spoke about this really important bonding tool we were going to use. And we see that this would be a perfect implementation for it, which kind of we're on top of this, what we're going to do is we're going to separate Fire from the smart contract. Okay, so Fire is going to become a tradable entity on its own, and we're going to implement a new token for the smart contract. So as we switch over to V3, you'll no longer be claiming 0.225 Fire a day. You'll be claiming 0.225 XYZ token, whatever we call it, we haven't named it yet. This would then obviously go through the bonding mechanism. The idea of that is we completely remove the sell pressure. Okay, everyone's talking about the sell pressure. This is gone. And what we do is we return the rewards. Now, the rewards, the rewards at the start, we're going to be a bit more pessimistic about because we have to maintain 6 months. And as the project grows over time, we're going to see more and more return on investments. So we may see a decline in price when we switch off and we go over to V3 with the bonding mechanism. Let's be real. But as we start to see the profitability from our investments grow, then that profitability will be returned back to you guys. JW onwards, pay us in Lambos. I'd love to pay you in Lambos, man. D-list, how is V3 not going to end up like stronger? What we're going to do is we're going to remove all selling pressure straight away. We're not going to let you sell into the liquidity pool so that everyone else has a reducing price. We're going to ensure that we want every single token to be able to get the same price. I think that's the fairest way of doing it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of questions, and we're going to make sure that we leave some time towards the end for people to come up and ask those questions. But we have one more question. Could the nest cap be removed in the future to open the door for new investors? You said no, Luke. I asked why. You said I could ask again.
Yeah, of course you can, man. Of course you can. Because I wanted to follow up from that question. So with regards to the nest cap is the nest cap because that's our first round done. Okay, we're going to be doing another round. We're gonna do a Fire 2.0, and we're just toying with that tokenomic at the moment. Now we've got some really innovative things that we're going to implement. Let me just send Eric a message. Let me just see if he's comfortable with me mentioning this. Because this is very hot off the press.
What I did like, Luke, which is almost unheard of from any project, you allude to the fact that, look, when we close the doors, expect that we could experience sell pressure. And managing expectations is near enough impossible in crypto. I always say lower your expectations, extend your time horizons. We are moving, as Luke said, to a revenue-based business model, right? If you can imagine, like any hedge fund, this is round one closed. Now we rely on the success of our incubator projects, of our other investments, to be profitable, to pay every single person in this room back a fair portion of those profits. That's the nice thing about this, is once the doors are shut, everyone can focus on all the other investing they need to go do, because there won't be as much to do because you've already been grandfathered in with the version 1 nests right here, right now. So Luke and Eric, between you two, have you decided on what you can share right now?
Yes. So when we do Fire 2.0, what we're going to do is we're going to do a halvening of Fire. Okay, you've seen a halvening of Bitcoin. We're going to do a halvening of Fire. Okay, what that means is it becomes a more scarce product. However, with that, when we move into Fire 2, it will be a smaller supply of Fire, it will be a larger buy-in, and it will be a smaller reward. With this second project, what we're going for is complete sustainability. Okay, we are the only protocol who hasn't really changed any tokenomics since launch. We've basically stuck to the same model that we had from launch, which is lovely. It shows that we got our mathematics correct at the start. However, there are ways that we wanted to streamline it, and Eric and I have been jotting down the tokenomic structure. We think that we've really managed to nail a streamline on this. So the token will halve. We're going to do a halvening. We're gonna look at the reward structure, but it'll be a larger buy-in. But we want to go for a more sustained approach on this one as well, because we want this to last a bit. We knew we were going to shut the doors around about this time, but we knew that we were going to come into a second round, and the second round would be, what's the word I'm looking for? More, not streamlined, more economic. It would be more economic on the user. The last thing we want to see, I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, but there's been a real horrible thing happen in the market today, and investors are left very, very wobbly with what has happened. We don't want that to happen to you guys. Okay, we want to ensure that this is a sustained approach. Yeah, we've gone into I came into DeFi because I wanted this to be sustained and long term. I wanted to be able to plan my future from DeFi. But the problem is, they disappear very quickly. We've sustained our token price now for a very, very long time. And if you look at how the market reacts, we took a dip over the last couple of days, but that was only because we're pegged to AVAX. So when AVAX dips, our price dips, and then as AVAX recovers, our price recovers. And we've been sitting around about this range for a good period of time. But we feel that if we get the tokenomic even better, we can sit there for a lot longer. And really, that's all we want to do. We want to make sure that you guys can have something that you can count on. Listen, guys, we might get it completely wrong, right? We might completely fuck up, but we're planning and we're working hard to make sure that we don't. And we've been honest with you all along. We're saying all the steps that we're going to do. And yeah, I think I'm really excited to let this baby grow. But let's not take away from the job that we have to do now. And that job we have to do now is to ensure that our launch projects are correct. We've got the best team around us. We've got some great projects. We've got some great minds. And yeah, it's amazing. We'll have a little write-up for the halvening idea.
So
I'll
there's
get
a
that
point
over
of
to
clarity.
Jordan. Yeah.
There's a point of clarity to make here, and this came up in the general chat. So this is not a halvening of the 100,000 nests rewards. Those rewards don't change. This is just a Series A second round funding mechanism where the rewards are lower, the buy-in's higher. But the first round, the first 100,000, that doesn't change, right, Luke? We don't have
The
those
first
rewards.
100,000. Okay, cool. So the V1 Phoenix Fire as it stands now, that's not going to change. Or we're going to
That
change
doesn't
the
change.
token. That's not changing. Okay, that smart contract, pretty much the same. Fire 2.0, completely new tokenomic. When I say halvening, Bitcoin has a halvening. Okay, and what happens is basically the supply is halved. So we're going to halve the supply of fire. So instead of 1 million fire available, there'll only be 500,000. What that does is it drives sustainability and scarcity. Okay, and it makes it a more valuable product in the long term. Because we've seen fire listed on Bitrue, and they're a massive exchange. And I don't want to mess around with them. I want them to be able to have fire as a solid tradable entity for a long, long time. So we have a lot of people that we have to think about in this situation. This second Fire 2, the rewards will be changing, but Fire 1 will stay the same.
Brilliant. With that being said, Luke, I think it's time to let some people up. How much time do we have with you two?
Probably 30 more minutes for me. Luke, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. Before we let people up, I would like to make we need to make an announcement about there's another protocol that has recently decided they're not going to continue working. And you guys probably know who they are. We got mentioned in an announcement erroneously in their Discord server that we were going to somehow help them. And just want to go on record here for everyone who's here. I've already mentioned it in their Discord server. I've been over there typing during the AMA. I apologize if I seem absent-minded while Luke has been talking. But Yeah, we're not involved in that process. We're not going to be involved in that process. It's not our place. We sympathize with all of the investors and we hope for the best outcome for them, but it's not our place or our responsibility. And it's just not something we're going to be engaging in. There have been other members of the DeFi community at large that want to help sort of settle that for the people's sake, but we really have a whole lot more going on and don't have the bandwidth to really do that justice. And we don't think it's the right move for us. So there's been an announcement on the Discord server, but we're not
Hey,
at all.
let me follow up. Let me follow up on that.
Sure.
Our community manager, Cuss, was named in a statement within that Discord. Cuss has said that they're, not the right person to lead with this. Cuss is our community manager. He manages our Discord. Okay. He's not there to go and support other protocols. He's there to go and support you guys. That's why he's there, and he does a really good job doing so. Now, unfortunately, he was kind of strong-armed into a conversation he didn't want to be in. He constantly left the conversation and was pulled back in. And I have the messages. We feel great empathy towards the investors that have lost their money, and we're very, very sorry about that. Unfortunately, it does go to show the requirement for leadership to be doxed so that they can't just walk away and leave people losing their money. But on top of that, they have relationships with other DeFi protocols, and those DeFi protocols need to stand to the plate now and show that the partnerships that they've made are in bad weather as well as good. Eric and I have not partnered with any other DeFi protocol in this space. We've stood alone on our own island, and we've welcomed people to us. And some have come. We've got some great partnerships we're announcing soon. But we've been very, very clear on the rules. If you want to come and talk to us, you need to show us your face. And there was a very clear reason for that, because we did not want to be tarred with the same brush as people who are willing to just walk away and leave people with fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So I'd just like to clarify. Unfortunately, we're not in a position to support these people right now. And we're very, very sorry for their loss. But please rest assured, we are doing everything to keep Fire and the Phoenix as sustainable for such a long time. That's our number one priority, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. And to be clear, we were reached out to via, one of our team members, not directly. Luke and I were not directly reached out to, but we were consulted on it before any decisions were made. So no decisions were made to help out in any way whatsoever, but we were reached out to see if we wanted to help. I don't see an outcome that's really favorable. So yeah, I think we agree on that, Luke. And as you said, it's a sad situation, but let's move on. Let's get some
Terrible.
questions up here.
Let's get some questions up, man. Yeah.
Brilliant. So as always, one question. We know there's going to be a lot of questions, and we're happy to answer them. We're going to invite you up. You'll see a little pop-up asking to join us. What's up, Scott? The floor is yours.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty good, man.
Hey,
How you doing? Welcome to
man.
the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you.
I'm pretty good. Usually, I trust you guys. I let you guys run the show, and too many questions about the behind the scenes stuff. Question I do have though, I understand the capping and the fire tube. It's kind of like seed investing, the round A, B, C kind of thing. But the way I see it, the team is the only thing that'll be supplying the majority of buy pressure once it's capped. So I guess my question is this: if we all know the numbers, 225, blah 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 blah. So if $100 equals so much revenue, I guess if you guys make more revenue, are you deciding on what the price of the token will be? Like how much of that revenue will come back into the token to increase the price? Like if you're making more revenue, let's say the price is $100, that's 2 million a day. Let's say you made 4 million a day. Who decides how much the price is going to be of Fire? Wow. Like how is that working? Have we thought of that? Way off.
No, you're on track, mathematically speaking, at least with logic. So what dictates the price is going to be the return on the investments, the revenue, cash flow potential of the projects and businesses that we're incubating and creating in the real world and in the crypto world. I almost said another word. So,
Yeah, that makes sense, Eric. But like for a $50 token after the cap, it'd be $1 million revenue a day. Let's say you make 2 million a day.
Yeah.
How much comes back into the token? Do you guys decide the price then? Like,
Okay, Scott, it's a great question, actually. And let me give you guys some clarity right now. Our first priority is to ensure we have 6 months sustainable funds there. Okay, that's our first thing. So there will be a drop in rewards for a while. That's the fact, okay? Because what we're going to do is be building our return on investment, okay, and building that profit up. Now, let's say for example's sake, that we go from 1 million a day to 2 million a day. Okay, as soon as we are able to increase those rewards in a sustainable manner, we will. Okay, let's say one of our projects gets a huge payday. Okay, and we want to disseminate those rewards. We'll be able to do that as well. The good thing is we have complete control over how those will look. Okay, but let me tell you now, 100% of the profits that return into PCC will go into the reward pool. Okay, we've shown you guys time and time again. Eric and I aren't here to make a quick buck. We're here for a sustained game. Okay, we're here for the long term. Now, 100% of profits return to PCC. Now, if that's $100 million 1 month, that's amazing. However, there may be some bad months as well. Okay, and we're realists. All companies go through periods of sunshine and periods of rain. But when it rains, that's when we plant our seeds, and when the sun shines, that's when we harvest our crops. Yeah, the bear market. I won't even talk about a bear or bull market. Not financial advice. I'll talk about crops instead. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, that's cool, guys. Just wanted to make sure I was thinking of it properly. And I mean, I'm all in. I decided a long time ago to go heavy hard with you guys, and good luck. And I'll keep listening. Thanks.
Thanks. We appreciate your trust, and we love you loads, man.
Excellent, Scott. Thank you so much. And bringing up another OG, Eyes Wide Open. We met back in Dubai, my friend, long overdue. So it's only right that we bring you back up now. The floor is yours, buddy.
Welcome back. You're on mute, by the way, if you're talking.
It's Eyes Wide Open. How are you, man? I've missed
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Good. Can
Good
you hear
to
me
see
now?
you.
Okay.
Yes, perfectly.
Loud and clear.
Perfectly.
Beautiful. Look, I'll keep it short. I've got a few questions here, so I'll just run them by you. The first was, what are the master and grandmaster NFTs going to offer after Nest Cap?
The reason why I love you and your questions is because you always look at the things no one else is looking at. Now, you may remember at the beginning we spoke about wallet reward system and how the NFTs would be allowing you to gain early access into projects. Now, we have got a planned use for them, but I'm not. Aside from the early access, I'm not going to share more at this time. But there's definitely a use for them.
They still have the reward boost, though.
Yes, they still have the reward boost. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right then. And there will be additional benefits then. That's pretty much what I'm asking you.
Yes, there will. Yeah, aside,
Okay.
like totally different from the rewards as well.
Okay, right. Well, moving on to the next question. So I understand an NFT marketplace is part of your plans with the ecosystem generally. So
Correct.
our Nest, Master NFTs, Grandmaster NFTs going to become transferable on that marketplace or offer additional utility?
All right, you're the second person who asked this. And last week we bashed the question away, right? Because we didn't want to talk about it.
Yep.
But I'd love to see nests be transferable as NFTs. I'd love to see that. Grandmaster NFTs will not be tradable or sellable. They are a badge of honor and a medal that you get to wear, and they're like a blood contract. They are something you wear for life.
Okay. All right then. And finally, will Fire have a dollar value after the halving? And is it worth accumulating the Fire token?
Not financial advice. It will have dollar value. We're going to keep it as a tradable entity, but not
You are.
financial.
So, all right. And that'll be available after the nest cap, will it?
Yes. After the nest cap,
Uh,
we're going to separate it from the smart contract. Yes.
Okay.
Now,
All right. And
actually,
just
yeah.
on you go.
Carry on. I was just gonna drop an announcement, but I'll save it till after your next question.
Okay. All right. And this is the last question. I'll let someone else up. So, I know that one of your philosophies is breaking the chains. So how many nests, and this is obviously subjective, but I'm interested to get your opinion. How many nests would you consider enough to provide an average income?
I'd hope one. I'd hope for someone
One.
working minimum wage that one nest would be able to change their standard of living.
Okay, that's ambitious, but I like it.
You have to think affordability. There's a big difference in earnings between people, and what may be a lot of money to what may be not a lot of money to one person, maybe a lot of money to another. And that's kind of what we have to think about.
Of course. All right, well, that's all, gents. I'll leave it at that. I'll let someone else come up to the floor, and thank you. Best of luck. You're doing a good
Thanks.
job.
Thank you, man. Thank you for your challenging questions as always.
No
I love them,
problem.
really do.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks. Actually, it's a really good point. His eyes wide open. I don't know when he joined, whether he was one of the first 300, but there was a period of time. He was
Yeah, he sure was.
fantastic. So this is even better. So there was a period of time when our doors were shut, and we were testing our smart contract, and we had our first 300, the 300, the flame. Now I've been looking at a way for us to thank these guys, and I've done a deal with an artist, and we're going to be gifting a NFT to each of our 300 to thank them for supporting us in the time when we were still young, and still cracking out of our eggs. So there it is. We'll be dropping them when Spectrum NFT goes live. But to the guys who were here first, we just wanted to thank you. And this is our way of saying thanks. So each of you will get a free NFT.
Remarkable. Someone in the private flame group just said, "Am I a flame?" If you're in the flame channel, you are a flame. And
Love
I didn't
that.
know that announcement was coming. So marketing team, figure that out.
No one knew.
CTO.
No one knew. Not even Eric. Not
Oh,
even
no.
Eric knew about that. That was Luke only.
Hope our CTO knows that's coming his way. A good headache to
Love
have.
it.
Beautiful gesture, Luke. Back to the questions. Whilst the flames digest that generous offer. I love you are on stage. What is your question for the boys?
Hello?
Hear you loud and clear.
Was wondering if you guys could hear me.
Hey,
Yes,
man. Yeah,
loud
we
and clear. Welcome to the show. What you got?
Oh, thank you very much. Sorry for the wind. I'm at soccer practice right now with the kids, but thank you for the opportunity to speak. So I just had a question with you guys dropping about a V2 and the halving, kind of like new nest, new fire. How would that kind of roll out? Would us as OG investors have the possibility to get in early before the general public, or do you have any idea on how that would work out yet?
I kind of like stealth launches and fair launches. We with Fire 2.0, We want to make sure it's accessible and fair for all. We don't want to give anyone really priority over another. And we're also not going to announce the launch until it's done. The reason we're not going to do that is because there are people out there that will clone your token for the launch. I've had it a couple of times where I've been waiting for a token to launch and I bought the wrong one. And that's put my wallet at risk. So we don't want to put you guys in a difficult situation. So one day we're just going to go, hey guys, we've turned it on. Now,
Yep.
I don't know, Eric, maybe we could do a whitelist, but I'd rather just do a fair launch.
Okay, awesome. And just another quick question. So I know we have the Grandmaster NFT was pretty much stated that it'll be like a badge of honor, but in the future, will there be a benefit for me owning multiple NFTs or to have a Grandmaster NFT? Like, will they have different levels of privileges other than just like a badge?
Yeah, there's going to be a usage for NFTs, Master NFTs and Grandmaster NFTs. Now, Master NFTs, as long as you got one, you're in. But Grandmaster NFTs are going to be very different. Yeah. The event on the 27th of April kind of give you a clue of what we're thinking. So if anyone is coming along, it'll be a good time to pick our brains on.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much. You guys have been doing great. I'm trying to get to 100, but if it doesn't happen, I'm happy with where I'm going. And thank you guys so much for everything you're doing.
Thank you, man. Thank you. We really value your questions and we really value you as well. Thank you so much for coming up. We love you loads.
All right, then we've got a few more. Respectful of your time, fellas. We've got about 9 more minutes, so we can get for everyone if we keep it nice and rapid. So JA973, what's your question?
Guys, how are you?
Fantastic. Welcome. What you got?
Thank you for taking me on. I was wondering with Phoenix Point 2 or Fire Point 2, will that be feeding the token rewards for us in Fire Point 1?
It's a
Huh.
good question. It's a
Huh.
good question.
Forward thinking.
Maybe. And maybe. It's a good question. One we hoped wouldn't come up. Maybe. Thanks for asking it. Like.
Yeah, it's really kind of well, shit. Now, I mean, you can't say maybe and laugh about it. Honestly,
Well,
you just say fuck it. Yes, at this point, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We don't know what it looks like at this stage, but it will pay. It will pay.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And we truly appreciate everything you guys are doing for all of us.
Much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate how concise JA that question was. Now, a man that we have come to love, Aceto, Logoletto, ciao. How you feeling, brother?
I'm well. How are you three?
Fantastic so far today. It's almost halfway over, for me at least. I mean, it depends on where you are in the world.
It's bedtime for me now. But it's good to see you, Aceto Regretto.
It's good to see you. I love you guys so much. I really do. You guys are doing really good stuff, man. Whether people don't acknowledge it or not, I mean, that's their problem. But anyways, you guys like philosophy, yeah?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so I got a question for you. Let's see if you guys can answer it. What is the most valuable thing on the planet?
Time.
Very good. Time is forever decreasing, and it is something that you cannot buy. So now that we've established that time is the most valuable thing on the planet, not money, because money is just a construct, not money, but time. I don't know about anybody else in the audience, but I would much rather have something sustainable for 20 years that allows me to use my time for how I want than to go work for some idiot at a 9-to-5 job who doesn't even know my name. That's my opinion. I think everybody here should just calm down and relax and really give it up to these guys, because you really have to understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to break you away from, I hate swearing, but I'm going to do it this time. They're trying to break you away from the bullshit. Okay, guys, time. That's the most valuable thing. Time. Spend it with your family. Use this to increase your living. Get in while you can, if you can, whatever, but let's not fret. Let's not be, oh, I want to make $1 million. No, listen, that's not right. Money's not important. It is, but what's more important is time. And that's all I want to say. And I really love you guys. I really do. And Eric, I heard you only get 6 hours of sleep. I really hope you increase that to 8, because your health is important to me. Luke, your health
That's
is
rookie
important to me.
numbers. That's rookie
Your
numbers.
guys'
I get
health
4.
your guys' health is important to me. I think about you guys a lot. And believe it or not, you're in my heart. So I just want to make sure you guys are well, sound health, sound mentally, everything. I want to make sure you guys are good. And again, God bless you, and I love you, and you guys can move on to the next guy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We love you, brother. Thank you so much. And
Love you too, man.
we're very grateful for your support. And if there's ever anything we can do for you as well, please let us know.
You guys have done so much already. I get on my knees and thank God for showing me you guys. You guys have done so much. So that's why I tell you, take care of yourselves, because, I get what you're trying to do, but make sure you take care of yourselves. It's important. Anyways, thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure, King. Our absolute pleasure. Now with that nice little sentimental break, coming back with the tough questions. CryptoCoach.org. What is your question for the boys?
Good evening, fellas.
Man.
Can you hear me?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, loud and clear. How are
Fantastically,
you?
yes.
Good. Thanks. Well, thanks for sharing the mic. And if possible, I'd like to ask 2 short questions. But the first one,
Please.
and I have discussed this question with some connected to PCC, but I was invited on Twitter to share the question once more with the founders. So, respecting Jordan's reminder of a couple of minutes ago to be patient, I'll restrain my enthusiasm with this question. Seeing the Phoenix Community Capital evolving into something more, and seeing the vision based on love and well-being for all, are there any plans to start a nonprofit branch, and if so, when?
Yes, we've
Yep.
been in talks with them for a
Mhm.
long time. Eric and I both have
Ongoing.
significant nonprofit experience, as do many of our board. We do have a project in development that is specifically focused on nonprofits and supporting grassroots nonprofits. And we'll be discussing that in the coming weeks. For us, charity is really important, and we have to support those who are less fortunate than us.
Amazing. Great to hear. Of course, all the work you're doing already
Thanks.
can be considered as non-profit, as everyone is benefiting of your hard work, but thank you. A second question is focused on your perspective on mass adoption and mass education. So, if you had the opportunity to speak directly to the new generation, not investors, but users of the new technologies and Web3 possibilities, school-going teenagers, for example, our focus group, how would you explain, making it understandable to a teenager, the difference PCC can make in their lives?
From an
Good
absolute
question.
novice standpoint, there would have to be a lot of education going on there, because I mean, you'd have to have at least a little bit of a background or an understanding about what it is that we're structured to do before we could even have the conversation of how it would benefit them. So I think the first step is you'd have to educate them on what it is and how the financial investments potential works. But yeah, you could start there, education, and then into how we operate specifically. But I think an absolute novice who's a school student who has no idea what we're even doing, that would be a really hard task.
I just like to follow up on that, because you'll hear me say often that we get to choose the roles that we play in life, and if you want to go and do something in life, start acting like it belongs to you. Yeah, if you want to go and become a world-class pianist, go and play the piano like you were born to do it, and then practice for 10,000 hours. If you want to be a tennis player, go and practice like you were born to do it, and then practice for 10,000 hours. And I'd say to the next generation, not about PCC, not about Web3. Web3 is going to change the world, but it's only going to change the world with great minds who are keen and vicious in their thirst for growth. So my message to the young generation would be this, and it's what I tell my daughter every day. Go and find what you love in the world and go and do it with that love that it gives you. Give that action the same love that it gives you. Do that repeatedly. And if you keep doing that, you will become the best. You may not become the best in the world, but you'll become the best version of you.
Thank you for your very inspirational answer. And I believe you three are a perfectly breathing example of it. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you, brother.
Much appreciated. Thanks for your time.
And I know we've spoken online as well, although out of this forum, Crypto Coach, your pitch deck is on reservation, and I can't wait to present it to the team. So don't worry, my friend, I haven't forgotten you. We have 4 people in the waiting room. We are at time. Eric, Luke, are we able to answer one more?
I'll stay on for the 4 if you want, Eric.
Oh, lovely.
Same.
You're a boy. You're well done.
Thanks for making
Well,
me
it's
look
only
like
5. It's 5:30 in the evening my time, so you're the one really putting in the extra effort here. What's the time where you are in our? What time is it local for you right now? It's like 2 a.m.
Well, do you know what? It's 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's another shift
okay.
at BBC.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. My girls are asleep. It's fine.
Stunning. Well, David, you've got Luke at the crack of dawn.
I feel so lucky.
Hey, David.
Hey, David, man.
Hey guys. Just a quick one. I'm wondering if there's any updates or anything just at status of Niffy
Ooh,
since last.
updates and status on Niffy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm repeating the question because on my end you were breaking up a little bit. So
Yeah, you broke up our end as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Niffy, non-fungible U. Yeah, not really. Not that I can talk of. I've been in very high-level talks with some very, very influential people globally. And when I say influential, I mean heads of departments in states. There's a real need for this product globally. But first of all, we need to get a place where we can launch it from the top down. The talks are progressing. The smart contract is being shaped and designed, and the product is going to be revolutionary. There's other people out there trying to do parts of it, but no one's really got the actual full idea yet, which is good because I've only told everyone. I've gone and told people 5% of it, which is great. So they're all going away developing little bits of it. But we're no. I can't wait for it. It can't come quick enough for me. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right. Great. Well, I was just wondering if there was any news and anything that you could say. But if it's going well, that's good news. I guess that was the question. Is it going well?
It's going really well.
Yes.
Actually. Yeah. I'm very happy.
Great. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was it.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully,
Appreciate
see
it.
you and speak soon.
So part of what we talked about earlier when I was giving my update in San Diego was about access and influence and talking to the right people and using that as a way to get to a bigger audience for some of these products. Just keep that in mind, people. That's a big one.
I'll keep that in mind. Don't you worry. I used to train people in memory. I won't let you forget.
You did.
Up next, JL22595. I have to show you all how to remember that username. What's your question for the boys?
Oh wow, I'm surprised I got picked. Thank you guys for asking me to come up. So I was just wondering, what was that third announcement that was blacked out when you guys made the Nest Cap announcement?
So we
Okay,
talked about
cool.
this at the last AMA, and there was a Luke. You could probably talk more about it because you're the one
Do you
that's
know
actually
what? Do you know
you're
what?
spearheading that.
I'm just going to tell you.
You think so? Okay.
Well, I'm going to tell you part of it.
Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll have seen an announcement by Certic recently that they've now started KYC approval. They are now going to be offering KYC approval of projects. This is after discussion with us and the creating space. They're offering it now. If any projects want to get KYC'd by Certic, you can come to me and Eric, and we can introduce you to Certic. Obviously, it helps you beat the queues, but also it ensures that projects are legitimate in the space. The reason we didn't announce it is because we didn't want to cause any concern for any parties at this stage. But I think with what's happened today, there needs to be more KYC approval in the space. Certic are offering it, and if anybody wants it for their project, come and talk to Eric and I. We can get that arranged.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
keep it
directly
short. I know
connected
you
there.
guys, want to be respectful of your time. So
Kinda like-
that's all for me. Thank you guys for inviting me up
No
here.
problem. Thank you. It's to describe the relationship we have with Certic. It's like the Bat phone. If anyone remembers the old TV show Batman, from the
It's a really nice way
1960s.
of doing it.
Yeah, it's like the Bat phone. We pick it up, we call, we get a direct line to someone high up in the company, and we get immediate attention.
Great analogy. I wish I had a bat phone. Although I kind of do with you guys. I need something.
Yeah, so you get to call us directly.
That is pretty cool.
One
I'd
day
like a
that's going to be worth
Batarang.
something. A Batarang. Yeah. Tony, welcome back.
Tony. Long time no speak. How are you?
He's speechless because he's on mute.
I'm sure it'll be worth the wait, Tony, but I'm gonna have to give you 5 seconds, and if you don't pick up the phone, I'm gonna have to kick you off, and I really want to.
I really don't want to either. I
He
really,
can come-
I
he can
really
come
want you to
back
find
up.
that mute button,
So what, we can leave Tony up on stage. Bring the next.
Hold on.
Tony, you there?
No. Oh, I heard something. It's nope, it's not. Just
Is
leave
that
him on
me?
stage. Leave him on
Okay.
stage. Tony, if you can hear us, just wait. We'll bring up the next person, and then you can go after the next person. If you'll just sit on the stage, but be quiet, please, for a moment. Thank you.
All right, blink when you're ready. In the meantime, our final guest, Baba G, ex-Hoppy.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Kings, for having me. And I just wanted to say I appreciate y'all.
Oh, fantastic.
you
We
too,
appreciate
brother.
you as well. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go straight to the point. In light of the big news on Celsius caving into the SEC pressure, what are your thoughts about that? And does it change any of Fire's plans for being regulatory compliant?
No, we will always work in line with regulators as and when needed. The regulators are there to set the rules. We are here to follow the rules. The rules are set for a reason, and we will always work within the rules.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate that.
Thanks, man. I think, you know what? I think if anyone in this space isn't willing to work with the rules, sometimes we can challenge the rules. We can say, hey, they're not fair or they don't work with Web3. Here's an alternative and a solution. We've got some great solutions that we're going to be presenting to some people soon. But yeah, man, like the regulators are there for a reason. But, also it's up to the community and the industry to kick back if regulators are being unfair.
Definitely. Okay, thank you guys so much for your time and have a beautiful night. Love y'all.
Much love. Appreciate
Love you
you.
too.
Tony, did you get it all worked out? Doesn't sound like it. Are you on a mobile device where there was that tech issue where you had to unmute, but go back to the audience and restart everything. I don't know. Maybe that's it. If you're talking, we can't hear you.
I'm sure if you were talking, Tony, you're saying sweet nothings, and I thank you for the compliments. Oh, Tony. Well, we'll leave you up here as we wrap up, and if we hear you shout, we'll answer your question. In the meantime, Eric and Luke, want to thank you both for the time, because that's one thing we can never get back. Just if I may, purely because of the comments in the chat, could we just verify one more time for everyone who may have joined towards the end of the AMA, what's happening with version 1? Are they being paid out in Fire? Is the reward weight staying the same? And V2, what's happening there? Eric, are you happy to clarify for everyone as we leave?
Sorry, I was just writing a message to Luke to see if we could clarify what the message is going to be here, because we talked about it a long time ago. In crypto, at least, it was a long time ago. It was like 2.5 hours ago. And now we've gone through so much discussion. Yeah, we've gone through so much discussion. I can't remember exactly all the details we said we were going to announce.
Okay, so it's about the tokenomics staying the same for V1. So Fire, the tokenomic will stay the same. We will change nothing on it apart from the token name that will be used to claim via our bonding tool. We will be releasing Fire 2. Fire 2.0 will be a new tokenomic. We will be doing a halvening. When we say halvening, we will be releasing half the supply. There will be 500,000 Fire as opposed to 1 million, and the rewards will be lower. It will be a lower reward rate. 20 to 2. So yeah, that's gonna be that's it.
But not for the initial on 100,000 nests. The reward rate stays the same for those, correct?
Correct. The reward rate stays the same. Yes. Yeah. So we're going to be changing the tokenomic on the second one, but the first one will be staying the same.
Excellent. And the first version, we are going to be rewarded in another token. Is that correct, Luke?
Correct. Yeah, we're going to change the token claimed via a bonding mechanism.
Powerful. So the nest will still earn Fire, and with the bonding mechanism, will be rewarded in a different token.
The nest will. So we haven't named it, so let's just call it XYZ for now. Okay, so we will remove Fire from the smart contract. Fire will become a separate token. Anyone who holds an OG nest up to the first 100,000 will receive XYZ token, and XYZ token will be claimable through the bonding mechanism to receive maybe AVAX or a dollar pegged currency.
Thank you for that clarification, Luke. There'll be plenty of questions, and the mods will be about answering all your questions regarding bonding mechanisms, about, of course, the transition, and as we approach the upcoming tokenomics and, of course, the closing of the doors, more information will be released, team. So in the meantime, don't shy away from asking any of your pressing questions. Myself, the mods, and Luke and Eric are here to support as we grow as a family. Eric, Luke, any final words from you both?
Yeah. So we've seen a real calamity in the DeFi space today. It's been really, really painful to watch. Modcuz got included in a conversation he didn't want to be part of, and his name was put up to do something that we're not going to do.
And
however, that
names.
doesn't.
I mean, not our personal names, but Fire and Phoenix Community Capital got kind of lumped into that announcement, which I addressed earlier was not true.
It's wrong, and it's wrong that the people who did that did that. Okay, that is completely wrong. We don't speak on behalf of other protocols. We speak for ourselves, and never ever will we go and put another protocol at risk by including them in a conversation that does not concern them. However, because our name has now been pulled into that conversation, we feel a responsibility to try and look after the people who have been affected by this. We will not be going into there and helping them distribute those rewards. That is up to the partners that they had when they were live. That is now their responsibility to do. They decided to partner with them. They decided to partner with an Undocs team, and they have to take the responsibility for their actions. However, over the coming week, Eric and I will be looking at a way to support people who have been affected by this. I'm not saying we can support everyone, but we will aim to support some. We don't know what that looks like at this time. However, we will be working over the next coming days to do it. And please expect an announcement from us, probably Wednesday or Thursday this week, of how we're going to look after these people. Like I said, we can't look after all of them, but we can look after a few. We haven't got enough food to feed everyone, but we can sit a few more at our table. So we need to just work out what that looks like. All right. There's no room in this industry anymore for crime. You can't go around messing with people's investments. This is your hard earned money that you decide to put into projects because you believe in the team. And for those teams to walk away with your money and leave you with fear, uncertainty, and doubt is wrong. Now, Eric and I are strong believers in karma, and we have faith that the actions of these will, that retribution will be served and justice will be served. But for now, unfortunately, there is nothing we can do to support, and we're very sorry about that. But please, we will try and find a way to look after a few. And I'm sorry we can't do more. Anything to add to that, Eric?
No, I'd only muck it up. You said it so beautifully, but you
Thanks,
sound
brother.
somber, man. Like I get the empathy, but
No, man, it's a horrible situation, man.
It is kind of a downer
Do you remember?
down last note, though, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It
Yeah.
is.
It's
You got anything
unfortunate.
else we can tell him? Anything to end on a high?
No, I don't think so. Actually, I think we've exhausted all of our ammunition for today.
I think we have, haven't we? I think
Yeah.
we have. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what we can do. 27th of April, Tape London,
Yeah.
private members club. Come along, get some special treatment. Come and meet some of the partners that we're going to be working with.
Oh yes, the ones we.
Oh
I mean, the ones we
yeah.
haven't even talked about yet. God, I wish we could. We're so close.
27th,
So
man.
close.
27th. There's going to be loads of photos and everything.
Do we have a chat room set up for that yet? Did that
Reliable
happen?
guy is on it.
Did that happen
don't
while we
even-
were in the AMA, though?
It should have done, yes.
I don't see it.
Actually, no. Reliable guy is creating a list of potential attendees first. When we've got that list, we'll create.
Okay. Understood. All right. Yep. So yeah, that's a good high to leave on. 27th April. Tape London. Private
Come
party.
and have a look at what we're doing, man.
Members only
Private
club.
party, members only club. Yeah. And all flames get free NFT. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right,
There we
guys.
go.
We
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Reliable guy has a word to say.
How has he come up?
Yes, I have, sir. Just one quick question regarding after the cap. This nothing related to the task you've bestowed upon me. Maintenance fees after cap. Will they?
Yeah, we've said they're all going to stay the same. Everything's
Okay.
going to stay the same on V1.
Okay, perfect. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. All right. On that bombshell, 27th of April, Tape London. Be there or
I'll be there.
square. I'll be there. You'll be there, Eric.
I will be there. Yep.
Yeah. We'll all
Too
be
big to
there.
miss.
Come see us. And he is big. He is big. Love it. All right, guys. We love all of you, man. Thank you so much for your trust, support, your kind words, your challenging questions. It's because of you guys that we become better versions of ourselves. So thank you, man. We love you all. Good night.
Be good to each other and keep having fun.